Whatever happened to Baby Jane has been on my to watch list for such a long time. I'm talking years and years. And I finally got round to watching it, and I'm so happy to say it was absolutely worth the wait. The film was released in 1962. It's directed by Robert Aldrich, written by Lucas Heller, based on the novel by Henry Farrell. I haven't read the novel. If you know how it compares, please feel free to let me know. And we have a cast including Bette Davis as Jane and Joan Crawford as Jane's sister Blanche. And Jane was a successful child actress, not so much in her later years, whereas as her sister Blanche got older, Blanche became the successful one. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but basically it seems like one sister is a threat to the other. And it gets very intense. And there are a lot of scenes that are quite calm. And those scenes, I actually think, are some of the eeriest because it's so creepy. The characters are unpredictable, particularly Jane. I thought Bette Davis's performance was brilliant, as was Joan Crawford's, of course. And there's just something about the character of Jane that's so creepy. I love the makeup. I love the way she looks. It is so effective. And I don't want to say too much about what happens, but I will say the narrative is very unpredictable. I knew the basic premise going into it, but I had no idea of the specifics of what would unfold. And there are several things in this that I definitely couldn't have predicted. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that aspect of it, of never really knowing what's around the corner for the characters. And I had a lot of fun with this. Great concept, very well executed narrative. I'd quite like to read it. It's not that often that happens for me. Usually I'll read a book and then I'll be very excited to watch a film adaptation because I want to see what it looks like compared with what was in my head. Doing it the other way on, I already have those images in my head because of the film, but I would be very keen to read this. If anybody has read it, please feel free to let me know what you think of it, but I think it's going straight onto my to-read list. The narrative is brilliant. The characters are so well written. I do think that if I had to pick, I'd say Jane is a slightly more interesting character, but they're both absolutely fantastic. The supporting characters are interesting. The performances across the board are great. Visually, it's a really good film. The makeup, absolutely brilliant, especially for Jane, who is, of course, the baby Jane of the title. And I loved it. I can't fault it. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic experience. Definitely intense. And I wouldn't say scary insofar as being a horror film. It is listed on IMDb, I think IMDb and Wikipedia, yes, as being both a horror and a thriller. I'd say yes, it could be a horror, but for me it's more of a psychological thriller. And it is thrilling. It is very, very thrilling. I won't say any more than that, but I will say expect the unexpected. The character writing is amazing. The narrative is great. The performances are fantastic. I loved every second of it. I'd quite happily watch it again. I think I am going to read it. And as I said, that never happens. Almost never happens for me with films. Quite often I'll say, maybe I'll check it out. And I kind of put it somewhere in the back of my mind. But I'm going to immediately see if I can locate a copy of this because the story is just fantastic. Needless to say, I thought whatever happened to Baby Jane was an absolute delight. And if it sounds like something that might appeal to you, then I am very, very, very happy to recommend it.